Syria, a country shattered by over a decade of civil war, is now at a historic crossroads. The regime of Bashar al-Assad is no more. In its place rises a new leadership. But who are these rulers? And what does their reign mean for Syria and the world? Let's dive in. The fall of Assad's regime came after years of brutal conflict, widespread corruption, and the suppression of dissent. Civil protests that began in 2011 spiraled into a devastating civil war, leaving millions displaced and the nation's infrastructure in ruins. Growing international pressure and the regime's inability to maintain control over vast swaths of the country ultimately led to its downfall. Meet Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS. Once known as a radical Islamist group linked to al-Qaeda, HTS has undergone a dramatic makeover. Under its leader Ahmed al-Sharaa, formerly known as Abu Muhammad al-Jawlani, the group now claims to champion inclusive governance and minority rights. A bold shift for a group with a controversial past. Ahmed al-Sharaa has emerged as a central figure in this transformation. His leadership aims to rebrand HTS as a legitimate political entity. But is it enough to erase their extremist history? One of HTS's first moves was uniting fractured rebel factions into a single national army under Syria's new Ministry of Defense, a calculated strategy to consolidate power and prevent internal strife. The man tasked with overseeing this ambitious plan? Murhaf Abu Khazra, the interim defense minister. But challenges abound. Isolated violence continues to plague the nation, and societal tensions run high. Minority communities like the Alawites who once stood by Assad fear retribution. They're asking, is this new government truly for all Syrians, or just a rebranded version of the old struggles? The world is watching closely. Western nations are cautiously engaging with HTS. In a surprising turn, the United States recently lifted a $10 million bounty on al-Sharaa. Why? To encourage HTS to abandon its terrorist roots and embrace governance. But not everyone is convinced. European nations are torn. Some argue it's time to lift sanctions and aid Syria's rebuilding efforts. Others fear the risks of empowering a group with such a volatile history. Meanwhile, the stakes couldn't be higher for HTS as they work to win global legitimacy. In the region, Syria's neighbors are recalibrating their strategies. Turkey is engaging in cautious diplomacy, while Iran, Assad's longtime ally, watches its influence in Syria diminish. And Israel? It's keeping a close eye, conducting strikes when it feels its security is at risk. Syria's transformation is reshaping the Middle East. But the real test lies within. HTS must prove it can govern inclusively, rebuild a shattered economy, and ensure security for all Syrians. A tall order for a nation scarred by years of war. For millions of displaced Syrians, hope is fragile. Families separated by borders and years of conflict are cautiously optimistic. But returning home isn't simple. Infrastructure is devastated, basic services are lacking, and rebuilding lives from the ashes is an uphill battle. So is this a turning point for Syria? Or are we witnessing the start of another complex chapter in this war-torn nation's history? One thing is clear: the world can't afford to look away. If you found this deep dive insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that matter. And let us know in the comments, what do you think lies ahead for Syria?